In this video, we will talk about what on earth this is and why it looks like this. We'll also look at how Sibongiseni Mthethwa came in and solved one of Kaizer Chiefs' biggest problem in how they are playing, and also how Kaizer Chiefs' pressing shape got exposed until someone decided to solve the problem by bringing in two players who also solved the offensive problem. Hello and welcome to the Cutback with me, Coach Mpilo. Here we talk about South African football tactically, so do make sure to subscribe for more content like this. So let's start from the beginning, from the very top. How are Kaizer Chiefs attacking? This is Kaizer Chiefs' shape. Here you have your back three of Riff Frosler. Yes, it's a back four, but when they have the ball, Frosler becomes a third center back alongside Inacio Miguel and Zita Kwenika. Now, what you will see is that right here on the left hand side, you have Luke Badman providing the width, and then on the right, you have Thabiso Munyane providing the width. And in midfield, they play what we call a box midfield with Lebohang Maboe, Undlovu, and then you have Uvilakazi, who moves from the wing position and drifts inside, and also Ethan Chislett. So they almost look like they're playing double tens. And then Flavio da Silva pins the defenders back. In this way, as you can see, Chiefs have width. They stretch the pitch with Badman down here, and they also stretch the pitch with Umjita Wagamunyane up there. But in midfield, they're also concentrated. But how does this work in practice? Well, it works in a lot of ways, because I just showed you Chislett and Badman moving, Chislett being a 10, but we'll also see Chislett drifting wide and allowing Badman to go in, and in that way that constant movement also confuses the defenders. Furthermore, if you look closely to the system, you also see that one thing that happens on the left also happens on the right. It's mathematics. Ngale on the right hand side, you also have Thabiso Munyane, sometimes being the one who drifts inside. So essentially, by him drifting inside, he allows Mfundo Vilakazi up there to be the one who moves outside, and then Thabiso Munyane is the one who's inside. Interchange, flexibility of the system, it's not always the same thing. So as you're about to watch, Mfundo Vilakazi is the one who is currently collecting the ball on the side, and by the time the ball gets to him, now they form the triangle, because Undlovu then joins in the attack. So now you have a triangle of Undlovu and Vilakazi together with Munyane in that right side, and you will see this triangle forming even before Chiefs scores the goal. Here you have them. Undlovu is just here on the inside, and then you have Vilakazi just on the half space, and then on the wide space you have Thabiso Munyane stretching the pitch. And as a result, this makes it easy for Chiefs to overload that side, because now these guys only have this guy and then this guy. So it's a 2v3 on that side, so Chiefs have an advantage. And then it just continues evolving, because Umfundo passes the ball back. That triangle, you will see, it will form again, because they want to overload that space. And once again, they have superiority. They can combine there. They keep the shape. Those three players are staying very close to each other so that they can do something like this. Ball is played, the ball is then played through. Triangle is still there, and they still have a 3v2 advantage against those two players of Kruger National Park who are marking them. Now, as the ball is about to go into the box, you will remember me making a lot of videos last season crashing out about how Chiefs never had enough players in the box. Well, they have a lot of players here in the box as it stands right now, and here we go. Chiefs have a lot of players, 3 players in the box, and the 4th one is the one who's carrying the ball, and Mfundo plays the ball. If Da Silva misses the ball, there's still 2 more people in Chislett right there and Badman right there who can still cause some damage. But you don't need anyone else to get the ball, because Silva gets the ball and then he scores. It's 1-0 to Kaizer Chiefs. Chiefs did not come with plan A only. There was also plan B. So this is how plan B worked. Miguel could just go direct from the goal kick. And in him going direct in the goal kick, you remember that man, the tall guy, the striker, he now gets the ball, and he passes to Mfundo who's now wide. And Mfundo with 1, he can switch the ball, but he ends up not switching the ball. And then you will also see here, okay, something's wrong. Hey, we are going to continue the video because I am not pausing the video after starting it. If you've watched this long, you are clearly enjoying the video and you won't leave me because there was a technical glitch. Okay, let's skip and come to this video. So this is Chiefs again. Peterson has the ball, right? And as Peterson has the ball, look at what's going to happen. He plays it long again. Silva gets the ball and then he just protects it. And now what has happened? Because Silva has dropped into the space, he has been followed by the defender, which means there's now space vacated behind the defenders. Now look at what we have. We have Ethan Chislet who can now attack that space. We have Badman who can now attack that space. So the setup is allowing them to come and press us, but now we also have space that we can run into. Fundo wins the ball, and now if we are quick enough, we pass the ball there, but we don't do that because we delayed it. Next, we have a thing that happened here, which by the way is proof that Coach Chiefs is a good coach. When Silva first got injured, in case you didn't notice, this is Silva getting injured. And look who was warming up. It wasn't Duba, it was Igodaro warming up because he's the one who was going to come on until the coach was like, all right, let's think about it here. We don't want a like for like, but we want someone who's going to solve problems that we're going to talk about in a second. Right, so now as it moves on, we have halftime and then Da Silva is out and Lovu are out, and now Duba comes on. So the first thing that you see when these guys come on is that, well, literally nothing has changed in terms of shape. Duba is still the striker alone up front, and then the box midfield, and then the winger and the winger in Badman on the left, and then on the right you have Munyan giving you width. But what you will also see here is that when Chiefs have the ball, Duba just stays there because we don't need you to drop too much into the midfield because we need a target in the box. So Chiefs wins the ball. Kunika, Bugutub, he's just there chilling, like I'm waiting for the ball to come to me. And then he drops a bit, then he goes. And then as it goes, the ball is lost. But now pay attention to the second player. That is Utabiso Munyan. The ball is lost, but he wins it back. Watch Duba again, who's highlighted, makes that run in behind, identifies space, and then Chiefs scores. Like, look at how beautiful this is. Like, these slow springs, he's just lost the ball here. Okay, fine. But the moment Mabwe wins the ball, now he goes to that space. He attacks it, and then he scores. And by the way, even if this goal doesn't go in, if he plays a cutback, there's still 2 players in the box, which once again is the same thing that is in common with the first and the third goal. Guti Chiefs have players in the box, but we're not done because we're going to talk about the second goal as well because it has the same resemblance. And this is one of the best moments of the game. It's subtle, but I like subtle. The ball goes up, just let Suga. That was beautiful. I loved it. Okay, so let's look at the impact of Mthethwa when he came on, because one of the problems that Chiefs had was the fact that they couldn't play the ball. So when Mthethwa came on, his job was not to, start with champagne passes, but his job was simple: get the ball, keep the ball moving. You see, Mthethwa, keep the ball moving. Simple things. If you continue looking, there are so many clips of Mthethwa doing this. He just gets the ball. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing amazing. It could be a back pass, but who cares? Because his job wasn't to do anything. Just make sure that Chiefs rotates the ball. And people overrate the power forward passes. He gets the ball there. He just make sure that the ball is progressed. And you see in this clip again, the ball is this is the first half. Okay, let me jump to this part. Because even here, Mthethwa, when he goes to the ball, he just gets it, and then here he loses it, but fortuitously gets it forward. And then again here, he's there just to get the ball and just keep it moving, and then also start moving. There was another clip that I think I've lost. I think this is the best clip that I wanted to show you about the importance of back passes sometimes. You've probably heard of the up back throw. So what an up back throw is basically a pattern whereby one player like Miguel here has the ball, he passes it forward as it does here, and then Umthetwa passes it to the side or back, and then the through ball can be played. What that does, look what happens when Umthetwa is receiving the ball. I'll even slow it down to 0.5. The ball is played to Umthetwa. Look, there are two people, not just two. You see how many people have been attracted to Umthetwa? Let me show you. I will show you again so that you understand what I'm talking about. Umthetwa is right there in the middle. That pass goes to him. Miguel is very much aware that Umthetwa is marked, but it's done on purpose. The pass goes to Umthetwa. Look, he attracts not one, but attracts this guy, attracts this guy. This guy wants to come in. This guy wants to come in. So 4 players will now be attracted just because the pass is going to Umthetwa. He touches the ball, and now because he played a back pass, or what seems like a back pass or a sideways pass, now that means we have created space for that through ball to be played, and now bam, Kaizer Chiefs are attacking. So not all back passes are created equally. Some back passes could be played, but the reason why they are played is because we are trying to manipulate the shape of the opponent, which is exactly what happened here. And last but not least is situations like this where you find Umthetwa on the edge of the box being able to also just get the ball, keep it moving, and be the ones who, if Yabo, as this place is so congested with players of Kruger, they have a player who's going to just receive the ball in Umthetwa here and rotate it. Now, let's look at the defensive shape before we look at the problem with the defensive shape. If you're enjoying the video, by the way, would be the good time to subscribe. So if you watch here, this is Kaizer Chiefs in a very narrow shape. It looks like a 4-3-3, but forget shapes here. The point and the idea here is to block any midfield progression. And Uchislet was usually just staying with the pivot because Letimle Kruger were playing 4-3-3. So these are their 3 midfielders, and Uchislet was tasked with staying with one of them, the 6. So, but the idea is to be as narrow as possible. And in Chiefs being narrow, the idea was to then, okay, once we are narrow, watch the person I'm about to highlight there. Yabonu Tasilf, he's telling Uchislet to pay attention to this guy. Why is he saying that? Because he knows what he's about to do. He's about to make a run. You see, slowly move across. What has he done now? He's allowed the pass to go to the pivot, but he did not want this pass to go directly this way, because what he's trying to do is cut the ground in half so that Chiefs can force this team to only play in this side where Chiefs can then press, because you see the majority of Chiefs players are on that side. So Silva wanted, and the plan in many times when they were pressing was to try and force them to one side where they can then press them. And then in this case, once this thing has happened, Chislet can now press, and once he presses, he forces a pass because now he's hurrying him. But Uchislet was slow here in pressing him, which was a problem because Da Silva told him to do it earlier on. Here is another example. Once again, Chiefs are in this very narrow shape, and Silva again, he tells them, Katani Gemanja, I'm about to do the thing. Look at his run again. It's not straight. He's not pressing the keeper at all, but his movement is in such a way that Chiefs are now, watch, 3, 2, 1, cornering the team into one side of the pitch. And now look at all the players who are highlighted in yellow. They are now trying to force Kruger to play on the right hand side of theirs. And now once this has happened, Upadman can now move forward and start pressing, and everyone else can back the press, as you can see. And once this happens, the pass across cannot happen. Now Silva, watch Silva on top, he's not pressing the keeper again. He's trying to make sure that this guy does not get the ball. So once again, he moves across, the ball is forced to one side, and now we force them to play on this side, and Chiefs can now press. Everyone is now moving across, including Silva. If we win the ball here, if the ball is won here, this team is in trouble, but they clear the ball. But guess what? Chiefs have moved all their people to this side, and the ball has now been recovered. That was the plan, at least. Then there was a problem. Of course there was a problem. This is football. Now, here's what happens. Let's look at the problem. So here is Chiefs. The first phase has been done in our sort of high press. We've failed. But now this is a problem that kept on recurring. These guys get the ball and then they have two players who are unmarked. Like they can just play and combine. Yeah, we talked about triangles. Boom, boom. Then the ball is played. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we, Chiefs? Ibhola sebelitholile nansi triangle. Wangena umchita, wadlala ibhola. They don't even care. They just go through us and they playing. And then now they get across into the box. As a result, we almost concede. But the keeper was well positioned. I'm not making this a big deal because this was a warning shot. Because a few minutes later, you see the same thing. If you look down that midfield, you'll see the same two players. Unmarked, no one is putting pressure. One in front of Ndlovu, one behind Ndlovu. Once again, they easily find that forward pass and no one is there. And now, all of a sudden, they are in a very dangerous area and they're driving forward. Through ball and a cross were in trouble here. But luckily for us, Umunyane does recover. And then it doesn't end there because, of course, it doesn't. Watch this. Again, the pass, the keeper is just able to find that pass. Look at that guy. He's collecting free. And once again, his friend just behind him is also free. How many times are we going to allow these people to be free? And now they've beaten two lines of pressure. The now problem is that we are defending facing our own goal. This is not it. And finally, of course, there was going to be a goal because if you allow a team to do this long enough, they are going to score. Now, watch what happens here. Initially, everything seems to be fine. But they play the ball on top. Kunika does well to not allow the guy to turn. But again, in him not allowing him to turn, the ball is bounced back to number 10, who is free. There is not a single Chiefs player who's close to this guy. And then that creates a 2v1 against Riff Frosler. Umtaga Frosler already struggles with 1v1s. Now you're isolating him with 2v1s. And now all of a sudden he's in trouble. The ball comes to 22. And since we are late, the ball could simply be cut back to 10. But it doesn't. He tries to cross it first time. Ndlovu was still trying to catch his balance. And then he's not tight enough. This guy chose the harder thing to do. He could have simply rolled the ball across, which is easier. And this guy is still going to score. But he doesn't because he trusts his left foot. Because Ndlovu is not pressing him, he takes the shot and it's a goal. It had been coming. What was the solution? All Chiefs decided, good, okay, the biggest solution is bring on Silva and bring on Uduba together with umfana lo wakamthetho. Ubhuti lo wakamthetho sikuntangani, or is he 1 year older than me or younger than me? Now watch what happens now. They're still playing from the back. Uduba is putting pressure on the keeper. But look at what's happening now. Umthetho is standing right there. Let me highlight him again. You see that guy there? Ngizomenza abe mkhulu manje uNyambose. Nangu uNyambose la. Yena A1 by 2. He's standing ready to jump on whoever gets the ball. And if they try that, if they don't pass the guy who's in front of him and they try to go long, Umthetho now drops and then they play the ball long. Obviously they do because there are no clear-cut options in midfield. Doesn't end there because Unyambose ubeze ngespan. Again, Unyambose is there when the ball is played long. So unlike in that goal where the ball was played and the second ball was won by them, he's here to make sure that the second balls are also won by us. But it's not just the only thing because Unyambose was there again when these guys were trying to play. He's very much tight on the person that is marking, making sure that we don't lose the ball in midfield. But also, since Uduba is there with Uchislet, look at them sprinting across and forcing mistakes. You see, both of them are just converging, running towards the guy, and then Uduba kind of falls back. At this point, Uchislet has applied enough pressure. The defenders are ready for the ball to go back. Uvilakazi knows that one option that is there, if it doesn't go long, he won't go long because there are 3 defenders there and he's not going to skin all of them. So he tries to find the guy on his left, but Vilakazi has anticipated that pass, and then Chiefs wins the ball back. And second last example is this one. Nangumthetho. Ngithi Shilo sathi umthetho can cover more ground. So there he is, just scanning around, looking at who can get the ball. And Chislet, intentionally, he tries to block, as we talked about earlier on, tries to block the pass to the left-hand side, but then leaves the pass in midfield open. That is called the pressing trap, because you are letting the guy in the middle get the ball on purpose, because what you actually want to do is that when the ball goes into the middle, that's when you press. And then Chiefs have pressed, and then Chiefs are now countering, and they're about to go score. And here's another example, which I'll make the last example, otherwise I'll talk until at the end of the day. Again, everyone is ready to jump on whoever gets the ball. And here the ball is forced to this side on the left, and now Duba is there as Chislet is pressing. And everyone just kind of moves across, and they are forced to clear and go long, and guess who's there? Ready. Of course, Unyambos. He wins the ball, and now Chiefs can be able to retain possession and start afresh in their attack. Simple, minor changes, but effective. So that was Chiefs. By the way, let me show you something. This thing, these are the clips. These are all the clips that I could have used. Let me remove my camera here. You see here, these are all the clips from this game that I used. Some of them at transition. I didn't even go to transition to attack and transition into defense. That was gonna take a lot longer. The video is already long, so I'm going to stop here. So by the way, if I show you two clips, it's not because it happened twice. There are too many clips for me to go through, so I just make the clips and then just choose 2 or 3 to make a point, because I know some people will say, hey, but it happens in football. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, because this is elite content. I've been doing this analysis, and yeah, it deserves a like, it deserves a subscription and a share. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.